I mean, what is Taman Nagara? क्या जगह है ये? For a moment, I thought, am I in the wrong Malaysia? Is this really the same country that's famous for skyscrapers and beaches? I am talking here about one of the oldest rainforests on earth, older than the Amazon itself. Honestly, I never imagined that a jungle experience this incredible would become the biggest highlight of my 1 month Malaysia trip. Hi, I'm Pragya. Welcome to my channel Khao Local Ghumo Global, and after spending 5 days in Kuala Lumpur, I traveled to Kuala Tahan, and this was not just an ordinary touristy things to do because this place is not for everyone. In this video, I will share everything you need to know before visiting Taman Negara, from how to get here from Kuala Lumpur, where to stay, what to eat, what to do, and a few essential tips that will help you plan your trip better. So if Taman Negara is in your itinerary, or if you're wondering whether it is worth visiting, let me help you plan your jungle adventure now. Rock and roll! Now, first thing first, how do you actually get here? The good news is it's much easier than I expected. I started my journey from TBS bus terminal, one of Kuala Lumpur's largest bus terminals. I reached here a day in advance using the metro and bought my bus ticket to Jerantut for 36 ringgit, paying in cash. If you do not carry cash, don't worry, there are separate self-service kiosks that accept Visa, MasterCard and the local touch and go card. In fact, I noticed those queues were usually much shorter than the cash counters. One question many people have is, can you simply buy the ticket on the same day? Technically, yes, but personally, I would not recommend. TBS is very busy terminal, and depending on the season and the time of the day, ticket queues can get quite long, so it's better you book your ticket in advance. You can either buy it at the terminal a day earlier, as I did, or simply book it online. I have added the booking links in the description. One important thing to remember, book your tickets to Jerantut, not Taman Negara. As far as I know, there is no regular direct bus from Kuala Lumpur to Kuala Tahan unless you are arranging private taxi. Now, my bus journey started at 9 in the morning from TBS. Surprisingly, the bus was almost empty. There were only 3 or 4 passengers, including me, and the 4-hour journey to Jerantut was quite peaceful. Once I arrived at the Jerantut bus station, I was immediately approached by someone from NKS Travel for the next journey. For a second, I was thinking, is this fraud? But thankfully it was completely genuine. In fact, there are 2 well-known operators here, NKS Travel and Han Travel, that regularly transfers travelers from Jerantut to Kuala Tahan. From the NKS office, I boarded a shared van, and after another 1-hour drive, I finally reached Kuala Tahan. So overall, my journey was quite straightforward, from Kuala Lumpur to Jerantut by bus and then Jerantut to Kuala Tahan by van, taking around 5 hours in total. Now let's talk about where to stay. The good thing is Kuala Tahan is a very small town, so almost everything is within walking distance. Whether it's hostel, hotels, guest houses, homestays, restaurants or tour booking offices, you won't need any transport once you are here. There are plenty of accommodations options available online, ranging from budget hostels to comfortable hotels. For my stay, I booked the Wild Lodge through booking.com. At that time, it was the most affordable hostel I could find, but honestly, it exceeded my expectations because the location was excellent. It sits on the edge of a small downhill, offering a nice river view, and restaurant, convenience stores and the jetty were all just a short walk away. I stayed in a 4-bed mixed AC dormitory, and it had everything I needed: a comfortable bed, clean washrooms and a small shared kitchen, free drinking water and an open common area to chill. Overall, I had a really comfortable stay during my 2 nights here. There was just one tiny catch. Finding the hostel was not as straightforward as I expected because the signboard is placed down at the bottom of the slope, making it easy to miss if you are walking past. It sounds like a small thing, but after a long journey, the last thing you want is to keep walking back and forth with your backpack. So when you arrive, just keep an eye out for the sign at the bottom. It will save you a few extra minutes of confusion. Now it's finally time for the reason everyone comes here. exploring Taman Negara. And naturally, two questions comes to our mind. What can you do here and how do you do it? Let's start with the first one. Now, almost every activity here revolves around the rainforest, whether it's jungle trekking, rapid shooting, a night walk, a night jungle walk, or visiting the Batik people, an Orang Asli community that has lived inside Taman Negara for generations. Most of the activities can be booked individually or as a part of the combo packages. But if there is one experience that truly defines Taman Negara, it's the rainforest trek. And among all the trekking options, there are two that are especially popular. Option 1, the long day trek to Teresek waterfall. This is a trek I chose, and honestly, I would recommend it to the most first-time visitors. It's around 8 km one way, making it moderately challenging but still manageable if you have a reasonable fitness level. The tour usually costs between 160 to 180 ringgit per person, and that includes a jungle guide, rapid shooting, a visit to the Batik village, and a packed lunch, light snack, and drinking water. The day begins by crossing the river from Kuala Tahan to the National Park headquarters, where the trek officially starts at around 9:30 in the morning. What I loved the most was not just reaching the waterfall, it was everything happened along the way. Our guide constantly sharing fascinating insights about rainforest survival, medicinal plants, wildlife, and how this ancient ecosystem functions. It felt less like a hike and more like walking through a living classroom. Some sections were really challenging. There were places where we had to use ropes to climb up or down, which made the experience even more adventurous. Now, around lunchtime, we stopped for about half an hour to enjoy our packed meal in the middle of the rainforest. By around 2:30 p.m., we finally reached the waterfall, where we had around 30 to 40 minutes to relax, cool off, and simply enjoy the surrounding. But the adventure was not over yet. From there, we boarded a boat for rapid shooting, which was honestly one of the most fun parts of the day. The boat intentionally rides through the river rapids, so yes, you will probably get completely soaked. After that, we visited the area where a few members of the Batik community lives. It was a brief but meaningful opportunity to learn about their traditional lifestyle and their deep connection with the rainforest. Finally, we returned to Kuala Tahan by boat, wrapping up a full day of adventure around 4 to 5 p.m. Now, option 2, the 2-day jungle trek, only if you are looking for a much bigger challenge. This covers roughly 21 kilometers through the rainforest, and you will spend one night in the cave before continuing the hike the next day. I did not do this trek myself, so I won't comment much on the experience or pricing. However, from what I heard, this is not recommended for the beginners. The guides expect participants to be mentally prepared, physically prepared, and comfortable with spending extended time deep inside the jungle. Unlike the day trek, this is not something you can simply quit halfway through, so only choose if you are confident about the challenge. Now, the next question is, how do you actually do all these activities? Before joining any activity inside Taman Negara National Park, you will first need to get an entry permit. The permit costs 1 ringgit per person, and if you are carrying camera, you will need a camera permit, which costs 5 ringgit. Both can be obtained from the Paratil Wildlife Office, located just across the river from Kuala Tahan. I will leave the office timings in the description. Crossing the river itself is easy. The boat fare or water taxi fare is only 2 ringgit each way. Most tour operators recommend getting your permit one day before your activity. And well, interestingly, I did not. I missed the office timing the previous day, so I bought my permit on the morning of my trek instead. As a bonus, I actually saved 4 ringgit in extra river crossing cost. Now, here is something many people don't realize. The permit is not only for guided tours. It also allows you to explore several parts of the national park on your own. You can walk along the broadways near the headquarters, hike up to, viewpoints overlooking the rainforest, and even visit a peaceful riverside picnic and swimming area. Some attractions inside the park, however, have separate entrance fee. For example, the famous canopy walk requires an additional ticket. As for booking guided activities, you will find several tour operators throughout Kuala Tahan, especially around the market area and near the river jetty. Prices are generally very similar across agencies. I booked my trek one day in advance with Nature to Venture Travel and Tours because I really liked how clearly they explained everything before the trip. I will leave their contact details in the description if you would like to check them out. Now, let's talk about the food. To be honest, Kuala Tahan is not the kind of place where you come looking for the best cafes or the popular trendy trendiest restaurant or a popular dish. People come here for one reason: to experience the rainforest. And the local restaurants are simply here to make sure travelers have a good meal before or after a long day in the jungle. Since the town is so compact, you will find a handful of restaurants all within walking. That makes it easy to stroll around, check out the menus and eat whenever you feel comfortable. Don't expect fancy cafes or an extensive menu. What you can expect though is fresh, satisfying food at a very reasonable price. During my stay, I kept going back to a small restaurant in the market area. As a vegetarian, I had no trouble finding meals like vegetable noodles, rice with vegetable curry and a few other simple dishes. The portions were good and the food was tasty, and the price were honestly better than I expected. So if you're wondering whether you will struggle to find food here, the answer is no. Now before I wrap up, here are a few quick tips that will make your Tamanagara trip easier. First, pack light. For the full day trek, your guide already provides drinking water, lunch and snacks. I would only recommend carrying an energy bar or a small towel, mosquito repellent and a basic first aid kit, and an extra pair of cloth if you plan to change after the waterfall. Second, do not come expecting wildlife sightseeing. During our briefing, the guides told us that many travelers ask if they will see any wildlife animal, and their answer is usually, trust us, you do not want to. Large wildlife can be unpredictable, so instead of chasing animals, enjoy the rainforest itself, the sound, the trees and all the little details that makes this ecosystem so special. Number 3, carry enough cash. There are no ATMs in Kuala Tahan, and while some places accept cards, you may end up paying extra charges. Number 4, choose your activity according to your fitness level. Don't book a trek just because you saw someone doing it online. The rainforest can be physically challenging and demanding, and tours continue even if it rains. So know your limits and be prepared. Number 5, very important, respect the jungle. Keep your voice low, avoid unnecessary noise, and remember, you are a guest in the animal's home, not the other way around. And that's my Tamanagara experience in Malaysia. I really loved the first time experiencing the rainforest so closely that I already feel that I would love to add more experiences like these to my future travels. I hope this video helps you plan your trip to Tamanagara. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comment section. And if you would like to follow my journey in real time, you can find me on my Instagram and Facebook handle called Khao Local Ghumo Global. In the next video, I'll be heading to Perhentian Island and sharing why I dished Langkawi over this one. It is going to be gorgeous, relaxing, like a chilling vibe on the beach, and I'll be sharing plenty of practical information there as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is me, Pragya Sharma, exploring new ways of living, signing off. You see me in my next release. Until then, travel safely, stay curious and explore the world with care. Bye. Namaste.